You received a call from an inmate at the Department of Corrections. This call will be recorded and monitored. If you wish to block any future calls of this nature, dial 7 now to accept this call, press 5 now to decline this call, hang up.
Well, hello there, Miss Vic. How are you? Yeah, I know, but spring's around the corners, so won't be too cold too long. But two security officers? Cell phone? Oh my god. Yeah, I know what women do with cell phones. So they were just walked out because of a cell phone, huh? What? Oh my goodness, in a closet, huh? Oh boy. What are these guards thinking? You have this really good career and you throw it all away because you allow yourself to get blackmailed. Okay, so what happened to the women that did? Oh, okay. That was very clever. A lot of folks think you girls are not the sharpest tool in the shed, especially since you got caught. But to pull a stunt like that, just when you're ready to get out, that's very clever. So they had complete control, huh? Boy, so how long were these people? 15 years. All because he had that urge. Oh, boy. Well, yeah, there's all kinds of stuff that goes on inside the prison, and that's why we're out here. We need to expose this kind of stuff. And yeah, we constantly attack the prison officials, but once in a while, the incarcerated people are to blame too. Yeah, I understand. And I know it's not everybody. It's just those few bad apples that spoil the bunch. And in this particular case, well, at least it was exposed, but I don't think we're going to see anything in the news. Well, what do you think? Should we tell the whole world what was going on in there? Yeah, I know. It is kind of a advantage that you guys have. But there's, I think, I don't know if it's in the training, but I know a lot of prison officials are aware that you really can't trust the folks that are incarcerated because they do use everything to their advantage. And some of them like to play the system, and they know how to do it. Well, yeah, but I think the most dangerous folks are the ones who are in there for life. If they have no chance of getting out of prison, what have they got to lose? They could stab somebody, they could threaten somebody, they could yeah, I know, and yeah, there's a few of them in the women's prison, and what are you going to do? You just, right. And well, I like to talk to them once in a while and try to find out if they're being treated well or something. I imagine if we follow the policy, follow the law, we should be good on something like that. But that doesn't, and when you break away from it, that's when we have our issues. And these folks are exhorting, they're using their influences because it's the only way they know to get satisfaction. Well, yes, I'm happy to hear that you're not engaged in that. You have 60
seconds remaining.
So I hope, yeah. Okay, well, I hope everything works out for you. And yeah, stay away from that kind of stuff. And let's broadcast it. Right. Because folks need to do that. I know some TV shows and talk shows and stuff talk about it. And there's even a few things on YouTube, and I hope people tune in and take a look at that. It's just that, my goodness.
You have 30 seconds remaining.
Hearing it is just kind of scary. Well, okay. it's nice talking to you. So I hope that you'll be able to continue on and get your training and education and stuff and get out and join us in the real world. That's good. Okay. I'll be sure and let everybody know. You take care of yourself. Stay strong. Welcome to AQS Inmate Call. I am your host, Joel Wilborn. And in this episode, I want to discuss some of the wrongdoings that some incarcerated people commit. Now, a lot of times I focus on what the penal system does, because that's my main goal, is just to fix the injustices within the system and, call it out. But once in a while, somebody will do something within, the prison population that needs to be called out as well. Nobody's perfect. And as we mentioned in the YouTube videos on my YouTube channel, sex offenders, especially the female ones, will get out, fail to register, go back into prison, and they'll prey on the young girls in there, and they'll use their manipulative techniques to continue their crimes. And these people are very dangerous and should not be in there. It's almost like a kid in a candy store. Now, the thing that was brought up in this conversation is little Miss Vic was talking about a woman who managed to get one of the correctional officers in a closet. And I'll let you use your imagination what happened in there. But she was able to get some, shall we say, DNA into tissue and pretty much used that against him. It's more or less like, if you don't do what I say, I'm going to turn this into authorities. And, the person felt obligated to meet her needs. And he got her a cell phone. Just, prison officials can pretty much get things into the prison a little easier than visitors or the general population. And, when you get a cell phone in prison, there's just crazy things that can be done. A lot of criminal activity can be revisited with something like that. And then there's the things that you cannot send legally through the mail or legally through the JPay system or any other electronic means that can be sent through the cell phone. And you can also receive stuff, through the cell phone and make instructions and continue on. And, we see that in movies and TV shows and stuff where some gang leader or some drug cartel boss is able to get items completed and hits made or something, because of this cell phone and money and stuff that's smuggled into the prison. That just kind of gives you an idea of how some of the females get their stuff. We know drugs get in there. We know electronic items get in there, and even food items and weapons and stuff can be smuggled in. And not everybody does it just because they want a nice payoff. Some of them get blackmailed. They're trusting. They're duped. When you have predators that go in there, especially those that know how to use their unique abilities to coerce a person. And I don't know. There's a lot of different things that could contribute to somebody falling for that. But, you know, it does show that a lot of the incarcerated people are just as bad behind the walls as some of the prison officials. And it's terrible to get those two mixed in together. So we have to draw that out as well. There are people in there who know how to use the system. They grew up learning ways to survive. And that's going to be a tough one to overcome. For prison reformists and for my organization, American Quittance Society, we got to show them that there's another way to get things done. And one of them, the biggest thing, is just stay out of prison. If you're so hell-bent on having a cell phone, communicating with your friends and family, you know, sending these pictures and videos and text messages to a lover or a close, you know, person in your life. If you're concerned about that, stay out of prison. There's no reason to go to prison and then drag people around or drag people down that's around you. There's women in there who want to do the right thing and they want to get out, and then, you know, they'll witness something like this. You know, we've had inmates report transgender people taking advantage of the situation and, you know, witnessing something that shouldn't have been carrying on in there. And of course, these transgender people give the true people who are trying to go through this change, they give them a bad name. And we don't need that either. There's folks in there who, you know, there's a case where a person is born with both sexual organs and prefers to be known as a male and requested to go from the female prison to the male prison, which is now known as this little area where people are continuously raped. So he is now in this prison and constantly is assaulted. Asked to go back to the women's prison, and the women's prison says, no, this is your choice. You want it to be over there, so you just have to deal with it. And, you know, when you're trusting the system, you think, I'm going to go over there and I'm going to have my privacy and people aren't going to be able to have access to me like that. No, that's bad. We should trust the folks in the penal system. We should trust them to protect our loved ones. And who knows? Maybe someone listening here will wind up in prison. Would you really want to walk through those doors and have prison officials turn the other way while you're being attacked because something was held over their head, or maybe they don't make enough money, or they got into debt or something? We need people to keep an eye on this, to report these things, and to let them know that no matter what side you're on, if you're incarcerated, you could get serious repercussions. And if you are a prison official, serious things could happen as well. And maybe we should create laws where if an incarcerated person is discovered to be involved in these little smuggling rings or where they're using tactics to rope in prison officials, that they should get an extra term, almost like a escape or something. I don't know. I don't know if extra punishment would really fix it. I doubt it. But at least put it out there so that if you really talk to the incarcerated people, ask them what could be done to prove that this is not acceptable. You could get some really good ideas. They can come up with some nice stuff that we could implement. And you won't stop this stuff from happening. That's impossible. But at least we might be able to reduce it a little bit because people are afraid of the extra consequences that could come about or the reputation that they could get. We don't want that. We want to get people in there. We want the rules to be followed, and we want our correctional officers protected as well. I would say an open door policy. If a correctional officer does something dumb, goes in, tells his supervisor, he won't immediately be fired or reprimanded. It's more like, you told us, you got yourself into this bad situation, maybe we'll suspend you for a week without pay. I think that would be a nice thing too. People who speak up should not be punished. And we all make mistakes, all of us. And in a situation like that, a lot of stuff could have been avoided. So let's keep an eye on both sides and try to work toward a system of rules and laws and policies that will benefit everybody. Because I know, with this new move against police officers, they're doing their job, and it's not perfect. I spend time in law enforcement, and it's tough to make these decisions when there's bullets flying or threats hanging over you. And, if you make the wrong decision, it's not because you wanted to. It's just because the situation, and it just led that way. And, we shouldn't be punished and defunded and have them completely eliminated just because of these things. Because there's a lot that's good that happens too, and we need to report that. We need to report the good officers that do the good things. I've run into a few officers that are very respectful and really care about the people they're watching over and won't take any crap, and they won't get caught up in that. And they want to see these people get out and succeed. When I pick people up, they'll come out and say, we don't want to see you back. And they're being honest. They don't want them to come back. And those are the people we need to praise, and we need to reward. And we need to let folks know that if you do make a mistake, there's alternative ways than the harshest punishment possible. So, hope you go out, talk with folks, especially the folks that are in prison. Get on JPay and hit one of them up. Go to my YouTube channel, the Joel Wilborn channel on YouTube, and look at some of those videos, and go ahead and reach out to them. And, you may be shocked at some of the stuff that you hear, and you may be in a position to actually help out, make some improvements. So go out, have yourself a wonderful day, and make fantastic memories for tomorrow.